right? This event is seriously one of my favorites, second to GTC. So I absolutely love this day, and I hope that you guys have had your cups filled to the brim. The thing that I'm going to leave you with today is the topic of flourishing your way to the next level and flourishing in your business. And so when I think of the word flourishing, you guys, that means like going above and beyond and having an amazing business and thriving and not just surviving. And so that to me means that we're not just going to go for the bare minimum in our businesses. So if this month, if you've set your sights on hitting a certain maintenance or merely completing a promotion, I want you to start thinking above maintenance and above the exact amount that you actually have to do to just get where you're going, and start thinking bigger. I always like to say that maintenance is a dirty word. I don't entertain that and I don't think about it. So if you are always aiming for above the bare minimum that you have to do, you will always hit that and more. So flourishing, you guys, is going above and beyond. The first thing that I'm going to say is that income-producing activities is income-producing activity, no matter how you slice it, no matter how you dice it. And so I know that people always have different ideas of what that looks like, and that's okay. It's okay if you're somebody who builds your business mainly belly to belly, in person with people, group presentations. For me, so much of my business has been spent one-on-one with people, at a coffee shop, on Zoom, on FaceTime. So my point in telling you this is be okay with being creative in your business and just focusing on the main thing, which is sharing this gift and sharing this opportunity with people, and knowing that income-producing activity doesn't have to just look like doing a party. It can be done virtually, it can be done during FaceTime. Yesterday, actually, I was sitting on the airplane and the girl next to me told me that she was coming to Knoxville to run a marathon. And I'm like, well, perfect, I have Fido Sport in my purse. So I'm going to give her Fido Sport and a fizz, and then we're going to become Instagram friends. And I am going to follow up with her and send her more information on the nutrition products. So that was my income-producing activity, you guys. That's a new contact. That's somebody that I got to share this gift with, and somebody that I got to tell art on. So starting a conversation with people, you guys, basically, you have to open your mouth first so that you can start talking to people, because 9 times out of 10, people don't start talking to me. I actually have to start talking to them. So just because somebody doesn't approach you first doesn't mean that you don't have a conversation there. For instance, one of my area managers on my team, I actually met her in line at the UPS store. And I was commenting on how cute she looked. I loved her workout outfit, and one thing led to another, and she complimented me, and I told her, I said, I actually am a national vice president with Arbonne. She complimented my purse. I said, I got it as a gift for doing my job. And she goes, oh, what's Arbonne? I've never heard of Arbonne before. And I go, oh, well, I'll tell you about it. I said, I actually have a meeting tomorrow night, and I promise I'm not a serial killer, so you can get in my car with me and go with me. And I got her number, and that next night, she actually went with me to that meeting and signed up and became a business partner of mine. And so my point in telling you this is we don't have to overcomplicate the conversations that we're going to have with people. We find a need and then allow that to help us create a conversation with somebody. And if you look around, you guys, and you keep your head up, I know that there are some days where I'm just trying to get where I'm going and I'm not paying attention to anybody around me. And that's where my biggest mistake is, because honestly, my mindset is that when I walk into a store or a boutique or getting my nails done, like my next VP could be sitting in that room. So we have to look outside of ourselves and look and see where there is an opportunity to speak. For instance, when you go to the gym, how many people do you see with a shaker cup with some colored liquid in it? Tons of people. And so when you see somebody, you can go, hey, what are you drinking? What's in there? I'm just curious. And they tell you, you go, girl, you need a fizzy. Let me get you a fizzy. You're going to like that. And I give them a fizzy, and then I become Instagram friends, so I can follow up to hear about how they like that fizzy. So just looking for ways to weave Arbonne in your conversation. The next thing that I'll say is scheduling, right? In order to build an Arbonne business, we have to have our schedule and our calendars full. And so I want you to be really, really intentional about getting set in stone dates with people, and then you guys like holding it as gospel. And what I mean by that is if I say I'm going to meet up with somebody, I do not cancel on them, no matter what. And I will just say that I actually had viral meningitis when I was trying to go regional vice president. And I could barely see, I was super sick. But if I told somebody I was going to get on a call, I'm like laying in my bed doing my calls because I said that I would. And so when you have that commitment to somebody to share Arbonne with, you guys, you do not want to mess it up by not sticking to your word and by not sticking to that commitment. So when you put something down in your calendar, like it's set in stone, and that's it, and you weave everything else around that. And honestly, I see that as a huge, huge issue in people building their Arbonne businesses. I really believe that sometimes the reason why people don't succeed in their Arbonne business is because they're in charge of themselves. Like at work, you have somebody telling you what to do and you wouldn't dare not show up for work or not miss that meeting. And it's like, I even see sometimes, people not showing up to something Arbonne related because they have that choice. You guys, if you're serious about going to the top and serious about going to that next level, it's not a choice for you to not be plugged in and not do what you said you were going to do. Some tough love, I'm sorry. I'm not going to give you the fluff today. But being firm about those dates in your calendar, and also for me, something that I found that works, instead of asking people when they are free, I go, hey, I have this date open, and this date open. Which one works for you? Because that's too much of an open-ended question to ask people when they're free, right? Because they may never be free. So you give them dates and then you make them choose from there. And if those dates don't work, you can of course take that next step and go, okay, well what does work for you? So being firm on that and scheduling. And also not being afraid to schedule multiple things back to back in the same day, you guys, and maximizing your time. For instance, you may go into Starbucks and do a coffee date with someone right then and there, and then 30 minutes later go pop in your car and do a FaceTime from your location. So making the most of your time and maximizing on that when you have that hour window. And instead of sitting around, oh man, I catch myself doing this all the time, but just sitting around and scrolling through on my phone, when instead of looking at other people's lives and their feeds, I could have been taking that time to reach out to people and share this gift with others. So just be mindful of where you are spending your time. And then selling these products, you guys. So we obviously talked about scheduling, then selling, and then sponsoring. So selling products, you guys, to me, selling these products really is just a stepping stone to the ultimate goal, which is to get business partners. Cecilia Stoll always says, we're not looking for preferred clients, we're looking for business builders. And so I always lead with the business. And what I mean by that is my ultimate goal is to have somebody join my team so that this opportunity can change their lives. And that was where I went wrong in the beginning of my business. And once I finally got to area manager, I was like, oh my gosh, that's it. I have been so focused on finding preferred clients and finding people to purchase product. Guess what? Preferred clients don't duplicate. They don't go out and share this with their network unless they are just one in a million that refers their friend to you. We're looking for people who have a vested interest in building a business and sharing these products with their network. So purchasing products for yourself, you guys, is a huge thing too. You will not sell what you do not use yourself. And for those of you that know ENVP Caroline Reed, when I was an area manager, I actually was at an impact tour, and I had my makeup sitting out on the counter, and she goes, do you have makeup in there that's not Arbonne? And I was like, oh yeah. She was like, throw it away, get rid of it. She was like, if you ever want to be a national vice president, you will throw that makeup away, you will get all Arbonne. I was like, okay, if Caroline Reed tells me to do it, I'm doing it. I'm going to go home and I'm going to get all Arbonne. And I did. I got rid of everything that I had and ordered all Arbonne. Because you guys, number one, I don't benefit her at all monetarily. So I knew that if she was telling me to do something, it was simply because she wanted to help me be successful, not to put money in her own pocket. The next thing that I'll say is when you use the products yourself and purchase them yourself, you're passionate about it, you use them so it naturally, organically rolls off your tongue to share them with other people. But we also want people to get these products in their hands so that they can fall in love with them, so that when they do have great results, you can go, hey, so-and-so, I noticed that you just told me last week that you've already lost 10 pounds within 30 days. I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but have you ever thought about this opportunity? I know that you have so many friends and family in your network that would probably want to accomplish exactly what you've accomplished. Would you take a look at this? Because I think it could bless you and bless them. So selling those products, because you guys, the bread and butter of our business is not preferred clients, it's independent consultants. And so of course we want people to enjoy and love these products, but we also know that those preferred clients know people that we don't know. I actually sponsored a girl into my team who did the 30 days to healthy living. She loved it. She decided she wanted to become an independent consultant. And she had a girl that she knew that she goes, oh, I really want her to do the 30 days with me because I think she would love it. Well, you guys, that girl ended up being ENVP Catherine Terracina, who now is a national vice president direct to me. So think about that. Someone that you don't know yet knows someone who's going to eventually possibly be a VP in your business. So that's why it's so important to share the products with people and share the business as well. And then sponsoring, you guys. Don't you ever, I always tell my team this, I'm like, when you're cleaning your house, wherever you live, don't you wish you had a few more of you running around and helping you do it at the same time? That's how I feel about this business. Like, don't you wish that you had another one of you doing what it is that you are doing? Imagine that. I want you to take your effort and volume that you've done so far this month, and I want you to think about if 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 other people were doing that exact same thing. And that was honestly when it clicked for me. Actually, when I was at Impact Tour almost 5 years ago, they put up on the screen a great representation of 16 different people, each doing their $2,500 brick. And it equaled 40,000. And in the past, you guys, 40,000 to me seemed impossible. I remember thinking that is such a huge number. And then when I looked on that screen and I saw 16 people coming together and then each selling their 2,500 and doing their golden brick, right? If you guys are brand new and you're like, what the heck is this girl talking about? $2,500 is one of our staple numbers in our bond, meaning if you help 8 people do the 30 days healthy living, that's $2,500 right there. So imagine if you help 4 people who help 4 people who help 4 people. That's where those numbers come from, and that's regional vice president qualification. For the first time, I really thought that region was possible when I saw that breakdown of those numbers. So it's multiple people doing what it is that you're doing and duplicating you. And I love this saying of, I'd rather have 1% of effort from 100 men than 100% of effort from 1 man. And then following up. So when you follow up with people, you guys, most people, I read this statistic the other day, 92% of people give up after the 4th attempt of reaching out to people. You guys, had I given up after the 4th attempt of reaching out to Avery McCain, I wouldn't have a national vice president. She blew me off 7 text messages in a row. And then I invited myself to her house when my sister-in-law went to her house. And I made it happen. So how many people right now have you not followed up with because you're making this about you? Because you don't want to be a bother, because you don't want them to think you're weird. You guys, people are saying no to this business because they don't know enough. I always think about that if people really knew what I was sharing with them, they would be all over it. But they don't, and that's why I have to persist until I have the opportunity to give them the full picture. And I also want to remind you to take yourself out of the equation. When we struggle in our businesses, it's because we're making it about ourselves. People are not saying no to you, they are saying no to Arbonne, and get this, most of the time they're saying no because they don't believe enough in themselves. And they're scared of jumping in and doing something that they're not quite sure if they can be great at it. So when asking people to take a look at this business and following up with them, it's super important to remind them of their greatness and why you thought of them in the first place. And something that I found to be effective is when I used to reach out to people, I used to send them all the success that's happened in my life and my business and what's going on. And I was missing the point, you guys, because people don't always care about your success and your white Mercedes-Benz and your 6-figure income. They want to know what it's going to do for them. So remind people of their greatness and tell them why you think they would be amazing at building this business. And get this, over 90% of sales are made from the 8th to the 12th attempt. Like, can we be the kind of person that's so persistent that we continue to keep going after somebody has told us, not right now, or just simply has flat out ignored us 8 to 12 times? That's all this is, you guys. It's simply following up and continuing to show people that you believe enough in what it is that you have, that you're going to keep going and keep building and let them keep watching you until they decide to come around and join you. And Tessa, I hope that you don't mind that I call you out while I'm standing here on stage while we're here. But my newest direct area manager is here, you guys, and I've never met her before today in real life. And in 2015, you guys, I messaged her when I started my business on Instagram, and I said, hey, I want you to do this with me. And for a solid 4 years, she was a no. And this January, she decided to join me, and now is an area manager. Don't give up on people, you guys. You never know what season they're at in their life, and you also never know how this business is going to impact them and how your persistence is going to change their life. And so one day somebody's going to thank you for continuing to follow up with them. And you just have to imagine that the craziness that you think that you were doing at the time is one day going to be a story that you tell on stage somewhere. So it'll be used for good to encourage people one day. So even if you feel crazy at the moment, know that it's going to turn out for good. And then, being the last woman standing or man standing. Where are our men at in here? Being the last people standing. And, I always say that, the only way to fail in Arbonne is to quit. And I mean that. And I don't know how much more clear I can get on that. I don't know in what other words I can say that, but you guys, you cannot quit. Because you never know when your next ace is around the corner. You never know when that next person is going to jump in and join your business and change everything. And I was an area manager, you guys, for 10 months. And I would shoot for halfway to region and miss it. And shoot for halfway to region and miss it. And shoot for halfway to region and miss it. And then in December of 2016, my team did $26,000. And in January, we did $42,000. Almost doubled. You guys, that wasn't because I had an amazing December of putting in a bunch of work. That was all those months that I missed halfway to region that I planted seeds that came to fruition that January. Do you see what I mean? Don't quit because you're not getting to eat the fruit on the same day that you planted the seed. Mm-hmm. It will come to fruition, but you have to keep going and you have to keep showing people that you believe enough in this opportunity to keep going whether they join you or not. And one of my favorite things to say to people is, when they get back with me and they go, I'm so sorry I've blown you off. I go, honey, don't say sorry to me. Just be sad that you didn't start sooner. I'm sorry for you. My business doesn't depend on you, right? It depends on me. So take that pressure off of other people by letting them know that this is just something you want to give to them to change your lives, not because it's going to benefit you, right? And then self-development, you guys. We hear this all the time, and that's like what Shelby said. She goes, I know you're going to hear the same things over and over again. Share, sell, sponsor, and self-development. But like she said, those are the core pieces of this business. And if we're not minding our mind, we're going to have lies take over in our business. So we spend more time with ourselves than we do anybody else. Meaning that we get to talk to ourselves all day long. And we have to choose what thoughts we are entertaining. Because you guys, our thoughts become actions, or lack thereof. And so for me, no matter how long I'm in this business, no matter how much success I accomplish or achieve, I'm still a human being just like everybody else in here, and everyone else is still a human being no matter how much success you experience in your business. And our mind will always try and trick us. So we have to do our due diligence and staying ahead of it, and feeding it with positivity, and reminding ourselves of truths so we do not get lost when we're not getting to see the evidence of our work. I'm really loving referring to Cecilia today, but she has so many amazing nuggets, and she always says, the rest of my life will be the best of my life. Guys, what an amazing thing to repeat and remind yourself every single day. The rest of my life will be the best of my life. Doesn't that get you excited? That the best is yet to come. So I remind that to myself when fear and doubt and worry try to creep in. You have to remember that you are literally sitting where you are sitting right now for a purpose and a reason. And you started this business for a purpose and a reason. And every single day you have to wake up and remind yourself of that fact. And then have enough self-discipline to do what it is that you need to do to move yourself forward. And so being mentally tough is huge. And I don't mean just mentally tough in your business, but mentally tough in every aspect of your life. So for me, that means pushing myself in all areas. This is not a lie. I was challenged by my trainer to do 2 miles in under 15 minutes on the treadmill. And this is not a joke. I was standing on the treadmill going, hey, you're not a quitter. You're not a quitter. You don't quit. You don't quit. You keep going. You're strong. You love to run. And people are walking by and like, is this okay? Like, is she okay? And the bottom line is I had to talk to myself more than I listened to myself. I had to speak those positive truths over my life, and sometimes I feel like that's what I have to do in my business. When I'm running my race in this business, I have to go, Peyton, you're not a quitter. You're a business builder magnet. You have what it takes to lead people to greatness. Like, what are you speaking over yourself? What lies are you entertaining? What truths or non-truths are you believing? Don't be afraid to look a little crazy in helping yourself read truth and remember truth. And then excellence, you guys. Let's commit to being excellent in all that we do. Even the little things, right? So for me, my overall goal in life is that I honor God by being excellent. That I do everything that I do with intention and purpose. And so I want to ask you, are you being as excellent as you can be in all areas of your life? In all areas of your business? And if not, how can you step up your game? How can you step up to the plate, and how can you lead others well? Or better than it is that you're doing right now? Because you have a team, maybe currently, or maybe one that's waiting for you, that's going to join you eventually. And you guys, your team is going to do what it is that you do. Everything that you do will be duplicated. So, another question for you. Would you want to sponsor yourself? And if the answer is no, why? And if the answer is yes, what are you doing that you should keep doing more of? Because I know for me that I make that evaluation every single day. Today, would I be a consultant that I would want to sponsor myself? And if not, how can I be that person? So before I let all of you enjoy the rest of your weekend and the rest of your Saturday, I just want you all to walk away with all the training and all the tips that have been given to you, and really want you to apply them, you guys. Like, in my heart, we were literally standing backstage going, we just know that every single person in this room can be an executive national vice president. But it's up to them. And that's the hardest and best part about this business, is that it's up to you. So have the self-discipline enough to put in the work, to put in the time, to be excellent, and to be firm about your goals and firm about your commitment. Be someone that you would want to sponsor, and also be someone that you would want to join. We are all made for greatness, and we all have a plan for our life that's meant to prosper us. So let's leave this weekend. Let's flourish in our businesses and in our lives. Thank you so much, you guys.